Coming up on Carolina News, hear how the race is heating up in the runoffs for city council.
No, you don't take anything for granted. Each election day is different.
Next, here's some reactions to a Senate subcommittee bill on reproductive rights.
We are for liberation for all oppressed people.
And find out where donations are going after this bloodbath on campus.
From the University of South Carolina, your news, your sports, your weather. Carolina News begins now.
Hello, and welcome to Carolina News. I'm Matt Frank.
And I'm Raquel Negron. Thanks for joining us.
Our top story today, the fate of 2 Columbia City Council seats are being decided now during runoff elections. Our Austin McConnell is live at the polls to give us the full update. Austin?
Thanks, guys. Today's runoff election is currently still in progress, and voters have been in and out of this building right off screen to the left of me here, and as they try and select an outright winner in this year's municipal elections. But first, let's take a look at how we got here. On November 4th, Columbia voters headed to the polls for city council elections, but 2 of those council seats are still undecided. In the at-large race, incumbent Aditi Bustles is facing challenger Sam Johnson in a runoff after neither candidate secured the required 50% plus 1 vote to win outright. Both Bustles and Johnson have similar priorities for Columbia's future, but the campaign has grown increasingly tense. Bustles has publicly accused Johnson's supporters of online harassment towards her. Johnson, meanwhile, has questioned Bustles' political ties, pointing to her use of the same campaign consulting firm that works with Republican U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham. We reached out to both campaigns for comment. Bustles' team did not respond, but Johnson shared his thoughts on the accusations.
Up until this point, we still have seen no proof of that. We've seen bots, we've seen different accounts that have no history. And certainly, we've received our share of bots who said all kinds of crazy things. Apparently, I'm a demon, all sorts of things. And so certainly don't want that on either side.
As the candidates continue their heated runoff campaigns, voters now have another chance to make their voices heard.
Oh, always. Any election is important. That's why we have them.
Overall turnout in Columbia's municipal elections remain low, with only a small percentage of voters showing up to cast ballots every 2 years.
And I look at our country, we have 10 and 15% turnout, and to me, that is a travesty. Now, despite the low numbers, we've seen a lot of voters in and out of this building at a pretty steady pace all day. The at-large race and District 4 race are still up for grabs, and polls are open until 7 p.m. Live in Columbia, I'm Austin McConnell, Carolina News.
As things heat up in the runoff election, the weather here has been heating up too. Let's throw it over to our Chloe Finley in the Weather Center with some updates.
Thanks, guys. Absolutely beautiful here in the Soda City today. 69 degrees out, sunny, not a cloud in sight. The sky is just about as blue as my pants, but watch out. It's going to get a whole lot hotter. This week, we're looking at a potential record high for this week in November, but I'll have more on that later in today's forecast. But for now, back to you guys at the desk.
South Carolina lawmakers are currently discussing Bill S-323.
Which, if passed, would set a total ban on abortion and affect other reproductive health resources in South Carolina. Our Emma K. Connolly has a story.
But today at the State House, lawmakers are considering a total ban on abortion.
South Carolina's current abortion bill, S-474, passed in 2023, is already one of the most restrictive in the nation, banning abortion after 6 weeks while still allowing exceptions for rape, life of the mother, and incest. Right now, Plan B and birth control are widely available in many forms across the state.
Yep, absolutely. So all of our Plan B is free. We also have the O-pill, which is the over-the-counter birth control. Those are for free as well.
If the bill lawmakers are discussing, Bill S-323, is passed, it will ban abortion completely, except for in cases where a doctor, quote, proves, end quote, that the abortion was medically necessary to save the mother's life. At today's hearing, there was a group of people donning heart-shaped stickers and shirts, appearing in support of the bill. None of these supporters wanted to be interviewed on camera, but some of them spoke to us off camera about reasons why they are in support of this bill, including personal connections to adoption and religious beliefs. In addition to banning abortion, this bill could reduce access to Plan B and birth control and potentially cut funding and support for fertility resources. South Carolina already has high rates of infant and maternal mortality, and opponents of this bill are concerned that rates will only rise if it is passed. In this hearing, supporters and opposers are watching and learning about this bill and its path through the South Carolina legislation. In Columbia, I'm Emma Kate Connolly for Carolina News.
Thanks, Emma. Staying in the Soda City, Columbia Police Department is currently investigating a shooting that happened at an Airbnb on Saturday. Police responded to a call saying shots were heard at the 1100 block of Darlington Street. Officials collected evidence and found property damage, but no fatal injuries. Some Columbia residents have been frustrated with the amount of safety concerns surrounding short-term rentals in their neighborhoods. However, this past Thursday, Columbia planning officials rejected a proposal to restrict short-term rentals and is now leaving the decision to the Columbia City Council, which will take place next month. With that conversation coming up, short-term rentals have been a hot topic for a while now in Columbia. The main question being why or why not add more? While Columbia community members have expressed concern for safety reasons, rentals like Airbnbs have actually been a moneymaker for the city. As of the end of October, there is 659 active Airbnbs listed in Columbia, and during the summer, higher revenue from short-term rentals was recorded. As of this month, the average monthly revenue from short-term rentals is about $2,800 and climbing.
Staying in Columbia, 2 organizations are joining teams to help save lives in the Midlands. Our Corinna Porter has the story.
Rivalry Week is in full swing at the University of South Carolina, and it's going to be a bloodbath for the Red Cross and the Blood Connection.
It's a great thing to do, and we can beat Clemson, which is always a good thing to do, too.
The 41st annual Carolina-Clemson Blood Battle kicked off yesterday at 11 locations on USC's campus. Last year, USC collected over 2,000 pints of blood and saved over 6,000 lives. But Clemson crushed those numbers and collected over 4,000 pints of blood and saved over 12,000 lives. And some USC students are out for blood to beat the Tigers this year.
Whatever is the safe amount that will not kill me. But yeah, however much I can safely give.
Since the founding battle in 1984, the school's blood drives have saved 140,000 lives. But this drive comes during a season of greater need.
The need for blood donations typically increases over the holiday season, when accidents also typically increase. So whether you're giving somewhere like this, or this, your donation could be used to help victims of house fires or car accidents over the holidays.
If you're nervous about donating, a pro donor and district manager for the Red Cross has some advice.
The whole process, again, maximum is about 45 minutes, and you leave feeling tremendous about saving up to 3 lives.
Wherever you're donating, remember that according to the Red Cross, your donation could be the one that saves a life. In Columbia, I'm Corinna Porter, Carolina News.
There are 8 Blood Connection locations and 3 Red Cross locations to donate around the USC campus.
Coming up after the break,
see how and why more people are turning to side hustles to collect some extra cash.
welcome back to Carolina News. In national news, a U.S. and Saudi Arabia deal happened earlier today. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and President Trump finalized a $600 billion Saudi investment in the U.S. infrastructure, technology, and energy. The deal also included Saudi Arabia purchasing advanced U.S. military technology, including F-35 fighter jets, and expanded cooperation on nuclear energy programs under U.S. monitoring.
With more national news, the U.S. House of Representatives just held the first vote on releasing more records relating to sex offender and trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. The last votes are now in from the House. The decision will rest on President Trump's desk to sign after it's passed by the Senate. The bill would require all unclassified records, documents, investigative material relating to Epstein are made public. Earlier, some Epstein survivors spoke out.
Hopeful for life and what the future had held for me. He stole a lot from me.
I am traumatized. I am not stupid.
Staying in the region, many small businesses in Raleigh, North Carolina have closed today due to widespread fear over Operation Charlotte's Web. After Border Patrol arrested over 200 illegal immigrants these past 3 days, Raleigh expects to see federal immigration agents in their areas today. Although there have been no updates on if there have been arrests made in Raleigh as of now, Mayor Janet Cowell says, quote, "We didn't ask for this presence. We feel like Raleigh police are doing a great job locally," end quote. And the governor of North Carolina, Josh Stein, is sending messages to Custom and Border Patrol.
This is not making us safer. It's stoking fear and dividing our community.
From federal agents to food security, SNAP benefits were just reinstated after the federal government reopened. But millions of Americans could still permanently lose benefits as the Trump administration will require a reapplication process as part of an effort to crack down on the system. Over 500,000 people in the state rely on SNAP, but new work requirements now apply to adults up to age 64. Now, homeless individuals, veterans, and former foster youth must reapply to receive benefits. The Congressional Budget Office estimates more than 3 million people may lose benefits in the coming years. Carolina News spoke with food banks and organizers a few weeks ago to understand their situation.
We can help meet the needs of the community. We cannot fill in for SNAP, though. We cannot replace a governmentally funded program.
With more consumer news, 8.9 million Americans are working a side job or business. Our Amanda Allen shows us what that looks like in Colombia and how social media is playing a role in business outreach.
This is Sarah Brunson, and under this blue tent is her side business, Chaos Creations.
I started this about 3 years ago.
Sarah attends various events across the Midlands to sell her creations, using print designs and presses to produce her products.
I first started with the cups, and they're sublimation, so it's infused ink.
And she isn't the only one with a side hustle. This trend is rising nationally. 69% of Americans are actively seeking side businesses to add extra income, noting that small businesses seem a more promising option.
I kind of wanted a little side hustle because I have 2 young children, so this is my second job, kind of.
And to many, this is a way to give back.
Usually when you get something, you don't know where it came from. We can actually tell you where our products came from.
A big part of being successful in a small DIY business is knowing your audience, refining your personal craft, and crucially, building an online presence.
According to business.com, having an online presence on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok are key to keeping good exposure for side businesses.
Online presence gives it just grows their market to much wider customer base.
And that's exactly what Sarah does.
I try to post multiple times a week at least to kind of gain interest and show new products.
While side businesses are another way to bring in more bucks, that isn't the main goal for Sarah.
I get to meet new people, talk, have a good time, and still get to make money.
Sarah also just added custom Christmas ornaments to her selling stock just in time for the upcoming holiday season. In Columbia, I'm Amanda Allen, Carolina News.
Brunson tells Carolina News that Chaos Creations' next setup will be at the Harvest Market this Saturday in Lexington.
A seat is open on South Carolina's Supreme Court, and South Carolina is one of 2 states where the legislature elects the judge rather than having a public vote. The current justice, John Few, has held the position since 2016 and is being challenged by 3 other candidates: Jay Lucas, former Speaker of the House, Ralph Anderson, an administrative law judge, and Blake Hewitt, an appeal court judge, are fighting for the seat. In Lexington County, a school cafeteria employee brought a loaded firearm onto the campus of Sand Hills Middle School. The school resource officer was notified that the firearm was found in one of the employee bathrooms. The bathroom was locked and not accessible to students, according to the arrest warrant. Andrea Brooks is charged with carrying a weapon on school property. He admitted to leaving the firearm on him after he realized he still had it. Brooks is now being held at the Lexington County Detention Center.
Richland County deputies have charged a man involved in 3 carjackings through Richland, Orangeburg, and Calhoun County. The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, or SLED, say that an Orangeburg deputy found a vehicle reported as stolen and chased 32-year-old Stephen Townsend into Calhoun County, where he hit a tree off of Belleville Road. Townsend then attacked the deputy with brass knuckles and attempted to steal the patrol vehicle, which led to the deputy shooting Townsend. Townsend was charged with armed robbery and possession of a weapon during a violent crime. Both Townsend and the deputy were taken to the hospital, and the deputy has since been released.
Back here at home, a developer hopes to build a new student apartment complex in the Vista. ESG Architects released a render of this new development. The project is a proposed 7-story, 512-bed complex at the corner of Senate and Park Street. The project would also include a retail space on the first floor and a parking garage. The site is currently home to a Five Guys chain and Monterey's Mexican restaurant. It is not clear what would happen to those, but demolition is a possibility.
Orangeburg County schools are taking part in a new initiative to provide free meals to families in need. Over the next 2 months, free meals will be wheeled out by culinary arts students in the district's food truck and will be given out in these locations. The program aims to provide a hands-on experience for students with food preparation and delivery while serving the community. And back here in the Soda City, temps are looking warmer than usual for this time of year. Our Chloe Finley has all the updates for us. Chloe?
Yeah, that is right, guys. It is pretty warm out here. I don't even need a jacket, really, and it's going to stay that way for the rest of the week. Highs in the mid-70s, lows in the mid-50s, but I'm also going to tell you how some rain in major airport hubs might be affecting your Thanksgiving travel to go visit friends or family. But I'll have all of that and more in my full forecast. Welcome back to Carolina News. As I said earlier, today, 69 degrees out in the Soda City, a beautiful day, a 23% chance of humidity, and sunset's going to be probably when you're just about on your commute home at 5:19 p.m., so make sure to bring those sun visors down if you're headed west. Across the state, it kind of looks the same. We got some high 60s, low 70s here in the Midlands, and then down by the coast, 63 and sunny in Myrtle Beach, 66 with a little bit of clouds on Hilton Head Island, but if we head up to the upstate, you could see there's even more clouds up here, sitting in the mid to high 60s. But something to talk about today, we have some potential record highs coming next week. I'm going to step off just so you can see the whole graphic. As you can see here, Wednesday we are predicted to hit 80 degrees. The hottest it's been since then was 81 in 1958. Friday, similarly, going to hit 80 degrees. The hottest it was that day was in 2011. So we're looking at potential record highs this week for November. So if you want to break out the shorts and the sunscreen one more time, now would be the chance. So we're going to take a quick look at your 5-day. As I said, it's going to be pretty warm. We're looking 80, 80, 74, 78, 76 for your highs. We have lows in the mid-50s going up to the 60s. But as you can see, it's going to be a pretty cloudy week, unfortunately. Friday, we're going to have the most cloud cover. And then Saturday, we have a slight possibility of seeing some showers. But hey, maybe the rain will bring some luck to Gamecock football. Lord knows they need it. But Tyler will give you more of a sports analysis later in the show. And then again, I promised I would talk about how some rain might be affecting your Thanksgiving travel back home. We're going to look at some major airport hubs, Chicago, New York, both expected to see some rain, but Atlanta is looking pretty good, and that's probably the hub you're the most concerned about. It's clear it shouldn't be affecting your air travel too much. And then we'll just wrap it up real quick with what you can expect this evening. It's going to be a little bit cloudy, but no chance of rain. Again, sunset 5:19 p.m. But I'll have a little bit more on this later on in the forecast. For now, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Chloe. Sports is next on Carolina News.
Our Tyler Peroni has the scoop on Gamecock football's upcoming game and a big coaching signing in college football.
Welcome back to Carolina News. It's time for sports. Starting with South Carolina football, the Gamecocks played the 6-4 Coastal Carolina Chanticleers on Saturday. Kickoff is scheduled for 4:15 p.m. in Williams-Brice Stadium. South Carolina fell to 3-7 after a 31-30 loss to Texas A&M this weekend. It was a 27-point comeback for the Aggies, the largest in A&M history. At his press conference today, Coach Shane Beamer talked about the team's disappointing season so far and the years to come. But he also talked about the state of coaching across college football. Let's take a listen.
I've got to hire 2 coaches. I'll be competing with other jobs that are open. I'm certainly, well aware of that. So it's a volatile profession. I know that, I see that, and we know what we signed up for, so you hate that there are that many openings. You hate to see
a volatile profession indeed. This has been a hectic season for college football coaches so far. 13 head coaches have been fired this season, with some of the biggest moves coming from Auburn, LSU, Florida, Oklahoma State, Colorado State, and Penn State, all parting ways with high-profile coaches. But one of the openings I didn't quite get to, Virginia Tech's. That's because their head coaching spot was filled. Yesterday, James Franklin went to the Hokies following his dismissal from Penn State. He had 104 wins and 45 losses as a Nittany Lion, but went 4-21 against top 10 teams during that time. For Penn State, the hiring means they'll only owe Franklin $9 million instead of the original $49 million buyout. Back to Gamecock athletics, South Carolina's undefeated men's basketball team plays Radford tonight. They'll look to extend their win streak to 4 at 7 p.m. in Colonial Life Arena. Other than a close overtime game versus Southern Miss, the Gamecocks have blown out their opponents so far. SC's new-look squad is led by scoring leader Michi Johnson, freshman Eli Ellis, and Utah transfer Mike Sheriff-Jams. The team is shooting 38% from 3 so far, a marked improvement from their 31.6 percentage last year. Sticking to the court, the Charlotte Hornets lost a close game to the Toronto Raptors last night, with a final score of 110-108. Despite 20-point performances from Con Knippel, Miles Bridges, and LaMelo Ball, the Hornets just couldn't keep up. They only made 10 of 40 attempted three-pointers, with LaMelo Ball going 1 for 7 from beyond the arc. Toronto had 6 players score 10 or more, led by All-Star Brandon Ingram's 27 points. The loss brings the Hornets to 4-10 overall. They're currently the 12th seed in the East, only having a better record than the Nets, Wizards, and Pacers. That's all I've got for sports. Now back to Raquel and Matt at the desk to wrap things up.
Thanks, Tyler. Coming up next after the break.
See what new fins could be flopping around in the tanks at riverbanks. Stay with us. Finally, tonight on Carolina News, some new fins are finding their way into the Riverbank Zoo. Legacy, the green sea turtle, just arrived at the zoo this week. This is a part of the Riverbank's 2-year program where they raise and then release green sea turtles. Our Amanda Allen reported just last week on Huntington the sea turtle that the zoo recently released back into the Atlantic. Once Legacy grows, he will join the tank in the Conservation Center, taking Huntington's place. Now we're going to wrap it up back to weather one more time. Chloe?
Yeah, thanks, guys. First of all, that is a beautiful turtle. And look at that. Oh, we're back to Raquel now. Raquel. All right, so it seems like you can't see me, but that's quite all right. We're going to take one more look at our evening forecast. Again, sunset 5:19. Oh, there I am, 5:19 sunset. And the rest of the night, we're going to be seeing some clouds, but no chance of rain. But that's all I got for you tonight. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Chloe. And thanks so much for being with us. Our 4:30 show starts in 10 minutes.
We hope to see you back here tomorrow. Have a great evening.